If I hadn't gone through what I did, I don't think I'd have the same outlook on life. They didn't know what it was. It could have been cancer for all they knew. It was a growth of some sort that they didn't really know for sure until they got the blood back.
You tired? Where are you?
I want to be remembered as somebody that worked for where I'm at, not as somebody that ever had anything given to them, because that's never been me. It's just not how it is. I'm not going to be the perfect player, I know, All-American or whatever, but I'm going to be as good as I can be.
My emotions when Nick told me that he was going to be playing volleyball for Ball State was absolute joy. There was a lot that Nick had gone through, and to finally be doing what you've dreamed about doing all your life is here. It's just the happiest moment for a parent to see your kid realize that.
As a kid, I was probably always the smallest kid. I always wanted to be just as tall and just as big as everybody else, but obviously I couldn't do anything about that.
We knew early on that he was going to be involved in sports all his life.
I was in third the whole time, and then that's not bad, Nick.
We let him do whatever he wanted to do as far as sports, because he wanted to do every single sport there was. When he was 4, he started baseball, and he couldn't wait to get up in the morning to go to baseball practice.
We were always proud of him just because he was striving. With his size disadvantage in a lot of things, he played football as a young kid too.
Playing football as a kid, I barely played. I practiced a lot, played some defense.
One of his friend's fathers was one of the wrestling coaches, and of course he talked to Nick into being a wrestler.
On your toes!
I was never one to just sit at home and do nothing. I did just about anything.
One day he was a freshman in high school, and Nick called and he said, "Dad," he goes, "I'm just thinking," he goes, "what would you think if I didn't go out for the baseball team?" I told him, "It's completely up to you, and no matter what you do or what you choose to try to do, I'll always back you." He followed my answer up with, "I just think I'd have more fun playing volleyball."
I got bored of baseball, you can go 9 innings and not score a run. Volleyball, you get a point every play, no matter what. So I just loved that there was always action, you're touching the ball every play, every other play, whatever it might be. In middle school, I played in this one-day tournament. It was just throw a bunch of kids that were, kind of athletic together and play in one tournament just for fun. And I was like, wow, this is pretty fun.
Looking back, that's probably the happiest I had been as far as he really found his passion. You could tell that he really had something with volleyball. He wanted to be on that court all the time. Ever since junior high, he had complained about stomach problems. Towards the end of freshman year, the pains started getting worse.
My freshman year, I'd just have constant stomach pains. Really wouldn't have an appetite. I'd eat one meal a day.
His mom set up an appointment. We went in, they did a scope and discovered this huge ulcer on his duodenum. The duodenum is just a part of the anatomy of the intestinal system in a person. Food was getting stuck in that area, and as it was dissolving, like you and I normally dissolve, it was actually eroding away part of his intestine.
What day is it? May what?
I don't know.
What day of the week is it? Do you know that?
That's right. Good job.
I woke up from that procedure and they're like, we're admitting you to the hospital and you're gonna be here for a while. I just found the sport that I was doing well in. I was getting to learn it, and then I got stuck in the hospital and couldn't really do anything active for a month after that.
He couldn't eat food orally for like, I think 30, 31 days. So he had like a PICC line in that they actually fed him through a backpack feeder. For a lot of kids, that would have ended sports. And Nick's big thing is how soon can I get back?
You're scared and you're upset, but yet you know Nick. Nick's gonna come through. Nick will find a way to get through this.
As soon as the doctor gave him the okay to go back and play sports, that was when he asked if I'd sign him up for the local club team.
A couple months later, I made a travel team, which was awesome. Kept going from there. I ended up making varsity as a sophomore, which was a big deal for me. I found my niche. I mean, I just loved it. Volleyball, I wasn't being held back by being a short guy.
We really liked his game, but at the time when he was a senior, the beginning of his senior year, we didn't necessarily have a need at that position. We thought we had the position set and recruited for.
In the meantime, Ball State and Jim told me that they basically no longer needed to fill the position, and that was just a huge bummer. I was like, man, that's where I really wanted to go.
At one point, Nick had finally kind of thought, I don't know if this is going to work out for me. And we decided, you need to apply to different schools you want to go to that have nothing to do with volleyball. And so that's when he did decide to apply at Mizzou, where most of his friends were going, but deep down in his heart, that's not what he wanted.
My dad was like, you need to email these coaches. So I sent them one last email and basically just listing my accomplishments, what I could bring to the team, what kind of person I was. It was kind of a shot in the dark, and I could have got a big fat no. And the next day, Jim called me and told me that he wanted me on the team. And I was so happy.
Really wasn't until I would say midpoint of the spring of his senior year that we realized we absolutely have to do this and we need this for next year. We really had a need at that time. It became necessary to get somebody of his ability in the gym in that time frame when we originally didn't think we would. So we got lucky in a sense as far as being able to find a player of his caliber, I would say that late in the game, that would fill our need. That's how I looked at it.
It was always a dream of mine to be a Division I athlete, and growing up I thought it was going to be baseball, or at least I hoped it was. To go from somebody who had never played the sport and then 4 years later playing at the highest level you could, it was extremely rewarding.
My emotions when Nick told me that he was going to be playing volleyball for Ball State was absolute joy. There was a lot that Nick had gone through, and to finally be doing what you've dreamed about doing all your life is here. Is just the happiest moment for a parent to see your kid realize that.
Up next, the 15th ranked Cardinals of Ball State face off against the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors.
Freshman year, I came in and opportunity presented itself. I got to play and start in Hawaii in our first tournament of the season. I actually set my career high dig night. My first collegiate match was against Princeton. I think I had like 16 digs. I don't know what was going on. It was probably adrenaline. I got to play college volleyball. My first ever college game I got to start in, and I was in Hawaii. I mean, what else? What else did I want?
It showed us right away his ability, that we were right in our decision and that he has the ability to play at this level. And I think it was kind of an eye-opener for everybody that I think, hey, we made a good call here.
Men's college volleyball, Lindenwood, that's up there in the Missouri, right? Yeah, because Ball State, Nick LaVanchy runs all the way to the other side of the net to save it.
As a kid, you always watched SportsCenter Top 10, and I was like, maybe that could be me one day. And then to hear that actually happened, I was like, I thought the play was cool. I didn't think it was that cool. I was like, wow, I did that.
The guys voted him as one of our captains this year, so that shows that the team values the role that he plays for our program. We needed somebody to be the voice of our team out on the court, and Nick was willing to play that role.
He's become a great leader for the team. He's become a great resource for the team. He's become a great friend for the team.
Nick is definitely goofy. He loves having fun. He doesn't want to get down. He doesn't want to dwell on things. He wants everybody to just have fun.
3, 2, 1. Okay, good, good.
Not everybody is this way, but he's an outgoing person that you enjoy being around and sharing time with.
Jack Kaiser, Ball State libero Nick LaVanchy. We're going service line to service line. All right, Nick, let's get it out there.
Alrighty.
How tall are you?
5'10", 11 on the roster though. Let's keep it that way.
He cares so much about this program. Just that mentality and what he brings to the team is so important. Because if you don't have a guy on your team like that, we could be losing a lot more.
LaVanchy from his backside sends it up.
He's done a lot of things that a lot of kids wouldn't be able to achieve, and not just with athletics, but just in life. I know the kid's going to be successful because he has that attitude.
If I hadn't gone through what I did, I don't think I'd have the same outlook on life. I'm not going to be the perfect player, All-American or whatever, but I'm going to be as good as I can be.